Hello, everyone. Welcome to What to Stream with myself, Lupe, and Jana. How are you, Jana?
I'm doing fine, Lupe. What about you?
I'm hanging in there. You know how it
I know.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week and a half, for personal reasons. I haven't been able to watch too much, but this week I've been watching some stuff, not a lot, but I've been catching up. But I've missed a lot of stuff. So we're gonna be talking some new stuff and movie and TV series that are currently streaming. And what are you going to talk about first?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about first. Everybody's talking about Jamie, which was releasing movie in the movie theater, and now it's available on Amazon Prime Video. And is inspired by true events and talks about Jimmy, and it is this teenager that has a dream to I don't know, to do a presentation, to become a drag queen, to be on a stage, singing, dancing. But he's like in high school, and he always has this secret. He wants to have this secret over there, and there are some scenes that he's a little bully. People don't like him because he's different, and her mom is embrace his difference, that him to be different, but her dad doesn't like him. Her dad left the family when he was little, when he assumed that he was want to become a drag queen, that he was gay and everything. And then he started, and then there is this situation that happened that he wants to go to the prom, but people don't want him to go to the prom as a gay person,
Drag
because
queen.
he wants, yeah, drag queen, yeah, because he wants to dress up, and but everybody was like against him, doesn't want to do so. He goes, even though he goes and buys these high heel shoes, looks like the daughter teacher shoes, because it's like
Oh yeah.
red glittery, but it's very high. And then he goes to a store, and he ended up meeting a drag legend, Loco Chanel, played by Richard E. Grant, which he's amazing on it. He's and then he used to be this very famous like drag queen, and now he has the little store that sells dresses, accessories, everything for them. And then he started to mentor him, so he can debut on stage and perform. So, but then there is something that he does like after school, and but then he wants to go to the school and be accepted by what he is. And this is a musical, and it's the it was a play before, with the same name, and I really enjoy. You know what I mean? The movie is not perfect, but I think it's so good. When I finished watching, I was like, those movies that you felt good about it, even though there is this sad story that nobody accept him, nobody understand what's going on with him. Even though it's beautiful, like when he realized that he can be whatever he wants, and then he ended up going to the prom, but as Jamie, but wearing a dress, but not as a drag queen. You know what I mean? So it's really beautiful. It's directed by Jonathan Butterell. He was the one that directed the play, and then he also directed the movie. And who plays Jamie is this new actor, Max Howard. He's amazing. That's his first like role in a movie, and he's so good. I really
So
enjoy.
he didn't do the theater version.
No, he did not.
Oh, and
Yeah,
I saw it because you said you were going to watch it, and I was kind of intrigued by it, and I really liked this film. It was so there's some points in the film you're like, oh my god, this is so sad because
yeah,
his mom is very supportive of him, and it's a beautiful relationship that they have. But like you mentioned, the dad left
yeah.
and doesn't want anything to do with him because
Nothing.
he doesn't like to do the same things he does, and it just I love how it explored the parents how they deal with someone who's trying
Yeah,
to define himself of who he is, and it's a tear jerker, but at the same time it's fun, and I like the musical numbers. I'm not a big fan
I
of
love
music
it. I
I'm not a
love
big
it.
fan of musicals, but I like this musical. It was very creative. Like they did there was one scene, one musical number where they would dance the same in the same sequence, but they would not change outfits, but he would go from one cut to a different cut of them wearing
Yeah.
different outfits. I thought, oh, that's so cool, because that's kind of what's going on now, like on TikTok, where people
Yeah,
do the
exactly.
same dance, but they change clothes. They cut from to different clothing.
Yeah. But
So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was
yeah,
really well done the way
yeah,
they did it, and I liked the representation in it because they showed other than white
yeah. We have
residents.
like this girl,
She's Muslim.
pretty is Laurie Patel. She's like she looks like Indian. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. In
Well, she says she's Muslim with the Hindu name,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
and she's like,
But
"Why did my
you see
parents do
the
that to
diverse
me?"
there. You see like different people they have, and then it was funny because they have a friend. They he has different friends, and some of them are very welcome him to this to the life that he wants to have, and some of them are just like whatever. But it's so good. I feel good. It's a feel good movie for me, at
Yeah,
least
I
for
thought it would be very specific, but there's one scene with the girl, Pretty, whatever her name is.
yeah,
He reveals to her that he wants to be a drag queen, and she's asking all these questions like, but why? Does that mean you want to be a girl? And he kind of explains like, no, I just want to play dress up. And then for me, it was like I was her, because sometimes I don't get that. Like I love drag. I love watching drag queens. I think it's hilarious the way the way they make themselves up. I think it's great the way they look. But I
yeah,
never understood. Like I was kind of like the backstory of these women, like of these men who dress up as drag queens. I never knew like what the story behind it. And he in that scene like summarized it perfectly. Like
what happened?
what
Yeah,
his vision of being a drag queen is and what he wanted out of it. So I really thought it was done really like expertly for people who maybe like myself don't understand like the backstory of these drag queens, because we love watching like the VH1 the drag queen series, because they
but
put
we
so
don't
much,
understand. Yeah,
but you don't understand like what makes someone want to, I mean, as a woman, I don't even put on that much makeup because I'm lazy.
no. And then
So,
did you see like Richard E. Grant? He's
oh, he was
fabulous.
so great in it. Yeah.
He was so good. I was like, I can't believe it. The transformation, it's amazing. The way that it does the hair, the makeup. I was like, is another person? I was like, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. That part, I love it.
Yeah. It was so sad to see Richard E. Grant because he just recently lost his wife.
Yeah,
And so you feel for him. You're like, oh my God, he's so, I
yeah,
just felt like his pain, like, oh my God, he lost his wife. So you're seeing him, I mean, I knew the news. I read the news on Twitter, but just seeing him perform and just thinking how good of an actor he is.
oh yeah. He's amazing. He's
Yeah.
amazing. And he
Yeah.
was like, I had the chance to speak with him and for this movie, and he
Oh.
was so grateful for to get to play local channel, and because it was the movie was like, you know what I mean, we need this right now.
Mhm.
He told me that we need this right now, like to understand, like it's not, it's a sad story, but at the same time it's like it's a these little kids get to know and then being accepted for, on the for everybody, on the community, in the school, and every place. It's such a great movie.
And I don't know if you mentioned it, but it's based on a real mom and son story.
Yeah, yes,
So
it
at
is.
the end, you see the picture of the real mom and the real son. But her, I mean, I really love the mom. She was so supportive of him, and even bought.
Yeah,
She's the one that bought him the Dorothy shoes.
yeah, I love it.
And I was like,
I
oh,
did.
it's such a beautiful relationship. And then I didn't realize it was a true story. I'm like, oh, thank God, there's people like that. That there's
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
well, I mean, I have a cousin whose son was gay from we were little. When he was little, we already knew, but she was very supportive of him and no judgment. Whereas the older adults were little more like, guys don't do, little boys don't do that. I was like, shh.
yeah. But what are we gonna
Maybe.
do if the kid is like that? I don't know. It's very difficult,
Oh
to
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
if
I
you
just
already
reminded me of
feel
my
it.
cousin, and
Yeah,
with her son, and then around her these Latino men.
yeah.
Like that's not.
I have a friend when he assumed that he was like, I'm gay and everything. Her mom was very supportive, but her dad, his
Yeah.
dad, was
typical, right? Like the dad is the. I mean, I'm sure there's
but the dad didn't divorce uh,
Oh,
from the mom, but and then took like 25 years for the dad to accept him.
oh wow, that's
Yeah,
so hard. There's a scene in there. It's like it's heartbreaking for him.
yeah.
And his dad tells him, "I don't want you as my son. I'm actually gonna have a son with his new wife." It just killed him. I was like, it killed me too. I was like, wow, you don't just,
I was
oh,
like,
that's
no, you
horrible. What
don't
a
do
horrible,
that.
horrible person you are.
That's
Well,
horrible.
anyway, yeah, it was horrible. But all right, well, let's go to a fake story.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, so I recommend that one as well. Okay, so and that's on Amazon. That's on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, now it's on Amazon Prime, and
All
I
right.
think it's still on the movie theaters if you wanna check it out.
Mm,
But no, I think it's easier. Just
yeah.
a click, you're there.
Okay, well, I'm next up next. I'm talking Cry Macho with Clint Eastwood directing. I think he gives us a movie once every year and a half, I think. And he's
Yeah.
like 91 by now.
Oh my god.
It's yeah, so it's on HBO Max. It's also in movie theaters. And when I watched the trailer, it was a bit cringeworthy. I don't know about you when you saw it. Did you want
Yeah, I was
to
like,
skip it?
I don't know. I don't know. I was very like, I don't know. Sometimes his movies are very, it's interesting, but I was like, I didn't have time. I didn't actually, this one, I didn't receive any invitation to watch the movie. So,
Well, there's probably a reason for that.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but I was like,
Yeah, I didn't
maybe
see
it's not that
any.
good.
They didn't promote this movie at all.
No,
At
no. I think it
all.
was just the trailer and that's it. I don't
Yeah.
think they showed to a lot of people. I don't think they did like interviews or anything. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So it's not written, but it stars and directed by Clint Eastwood, and there's a similar theme in a lot of his movies. Here, he's gonna help this young boy who's in Mexico. His friend and ex-boss kind of guilts him into helping him. He sends him to Mexico to try to bring back his son, whose ex-wife is withholding him from her. And so he sends this 91-year-old to Mexico to grab him and bring him to him. And that's played, his ex-boss is played by, what is his name? I didn't write it down. Anyway, but yeah, so he goes to Mexico. He finds the boy. The mom warns him not to take her son, but she's a horrible mom, so she doesn't exactly get the Mom of the Year award. So he goes willingly. First, he has to find him. He finds him at a cockfight, and he goes willingly because his mom isn't exactly, the best thing. The best mom in the world. So he agrees to go with him. And so, of course, you think there's going to be a road movie. So they do get on the road, and one of the mom's henchmen is coming after them for obvious reasons. The young boy's name is Raffo, yeah, and he's played by a newbie, and he did a really good job. His name is Eduardo Minet. Character's name is Raffo, and they take a road trip, and of course they run into some trouble, and they end up at a small town. And it's a really charming little quaint town. And they stay there for about 2 weeks. They meet a woman and her grandchildren. They stick around for a little bit trying to raise money to buy another car because somebody stole their pickup truck. And so it becomes endearing almost. I thought it was going to be like this action movie where he fights off the bad guys, but it turns out to be this endearing movie. You kind of start liking him because at first in the beginning, the movie's a little cringeworthy, I might say. In the beginning, like the first 20 minutes, I was like, oh, God, he's so frail and he's not, his former self, obviously he's getting older.
Yeah.
But he just looks so frail. You're thinking, oh, God, why is he getting himself in this situation? But then about maybe like 40 minutes, you're kind of rooting for them. They have this back and forth banter, which is really funny. He's got the rooster, and the reason it's called Cry Macho, the rooster's name is Macho. And so they go back and forth talking about like what does macho mean? So that was, I think, interesting because like I mentioned, there's a common theme in Clint Eastwood's in certain Clint Eastwood movies. If you remember 2009 Gran Torino, he becomes a father figure to the teen
Yeah.
next door, who happened to be Asian American kid.
Yeah.
And so in here, you kind of see that same kind of dynamic where he's kind of not teaching him, but he's like putting a good example forward as a dad, fixing cars. He's an ex-rodeo star and horse whisperer. And so he helps to break in horses at this little quaint town. And so here you get a little bit of the typical white savior kind of storyline. But like I said, the relationship is endearing. And it's funny because their quips are, they go back and forth like Mexican versus gringo. And it's funny. It's not like offensive. It's kind of funny little stuff where they go back and forth. And and I think at this point, Warner Brothers is just humoring Clint Eastwood. It's not one of his best movies, but like I said, there's an endearing quality to it. It's not what I expected. And especially there's some funny moments, especially with the rooster. Clint Eastwood is funny in the movie. Some of the dialogue is funny. So, I mean, if you're a fan of him, I would say check it out. It's on HBO Max. If you already subscribe, it's worth checking out. Like I mentioned, though, the first maybe 30 minutes are a little cringeworthy because the acting in the beginning and the writing, it was like, I don't know, this sounds too forced. It doesn't come off naturally, and he seems like he's struggling. So I don't know if it was like bad days, those first few scenes, because then later he seems a little more energetic.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just
taking a toll on this guy. I don't know. Well, obviously he shot the movie, so he's got plenty of stamina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know
to move forward, but it's not his best work. But like I mentioned, and then what I did appreciate was that you don't see the stereotypical portrayals. That's what I really liked. I was pleasantly surprised, like that last Liam Neeson movie where he's trying to save the boy.
Oh yeah, save the boy.
That one was so stereotypical. And that boy,
I was gonna say to you that this relationship familiar, right? Like reminds me Marksman. I was like the Lionel.
Yeah, but it's not an action movie, basically. So yeah. I appreciated the fact that they didn't bring about some stereotypical portrayals. And this town where they're at, it's actually this really nice little quaint town. The people are very nice. So it's not very, it's not a typical thing that we see in American movies where they go to like the slums of Mexico and you have some questionable people, blah, 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 blah. So I almost felt like the part when they're in the town, it almost felt like one of those old movies from like the spaghetti western, 60s, 70s.
Oh, okay. Like
it's kind of reminding me of that because they talk about like what's a cowboy. They talk about those are kind of old school values. And here in this small town, it's like a ranch. It's remote, so they have a lot of horses, so like horse ranches and stuff like that. So, it was okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like some of his movies, and I don't like. It's kind of, I'm in between. You know what I mean? I think he's very talented, but sometimes some stories doesn't. Didn't call my attention. Oh my God, let's me hunt go after the screener or something to watch it, but the trailer didn't.
The trailer was misleading. I thought it was going to be like this road action kind of movie, and so you're like, really? But it's not. It's not. It's a totally different type of movie.
Yeah,
it's a little more personable and stuff like that. So if you're a fan, go check it out on HBO Max. There's some funny moments in there, so you appreciate. I had some like 2 or 3 laughs in there with some funny dialogue.
Yeah.
So there you go on HBO Max. I wouldn't exactly pay for it at a movie theater.
Okay. Yeah.
Not worth it.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Definitely an HBO Max watch.
Talking about like going to the movie theater or watch on Netflix, this next movie is gonna premiere on the movie theaters this weekend, and it's gonna be available at Netflix on October 1st. So in this case, okay, let's talk about it, and then I tell if you should wait or you should go to the movie theater. It's the new movie it's a drama called The Guilt with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Thank you, Lupe. You there? Thank you so much for saving me with the names because I always say it wrong. So the movie takes place on I think in the afternoon, I don't know, a morning, whatever, when inside in our office inside the 911 dispatch call center. So Jake he's a call operator. Actually, he used to be on duty on the streets, and then he'll put it over there to because looks like that he's waiting for a trial or something. So he's working with getting the calls instead of being working on the streets. Something that doesn't explain too much, but it's something like that. So and then he's over there like getting the calls, and this is LA in the middle of in the middle of fires, and also a lot of things were happening in the city, like a guy. It was someone harbor a guy. Another one is like fracture, fall in the street, and then they need to call the ambulance. But then there is a call. There is a lady that called him, pretending that she was talking to her kid, but in reality, she was abducted by her ex-husband. And then he tries to understand what's going on, where she's going, and she was crying, she was desperate, and he's also start getting desperate and try to find, and then he put her on hold, and then he needs to call the Paw Patrol to go after the car, but he doesn't have the plate. All this going on that happened, all this is very intense. And then he's find out her other address and home phone number, and then he calls the house because her two kids are there by themselves, and one of them is a baby and the other one is a 6-year-old. And then he talks to the girl, and the girl was like, no, I want mommy, and then that goes until the end. And I don't want to talk too much because there is a twist there, and and it's funny. One thing it's funny, this movie is directed by Antoine Fuqua, the same director of Training Day, all these movies that like it's very good. But this is not his idea, you know what I mean? I don't know if you watch a Sweden movie called The Guilt in 2018. It's the same story.
Or The Call with Halle Berry.
No, called The Guilt. No, it's a Sweden movie. It's different. Exactly the same. And then when I saw the trailer and then I started watching, I was like, oh, I don't know. I already know how this movie is finished. And then what happened was the writer, Nicky Pissolato, he based the script on Gustav Muller movies from 2018. So I think this is like an American version of the movie. And they get to have like Anthony Fuqua and Jake on the movie, like for the story. So it's very intense. I like it, but to be honest, I prefer the original one.
Oh, okay. Well, no,
the original is more tense. I was more nervous about it, like with the original one.
Oh, no, I was mentioning there's a movie called The Call with Halle Berry.
Yes.
She's a 911 operator too. And she gets involved. I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this movie before.
Yes, exactly. So, but this one is a little bit different because, for example, the other one from 2018, everything happens in this dispatch call center. There's nothing outside. No scene is outside. And in this one happens as well in this dispatch call center, but there is some you don't see the actual scene happening.
You just hear about it.
Private. You need to use your imagination for that. But for example, there's some footage of LA on fire. There is when the Paw Patrol gets to the van. There is a little bit the camera, the police camera on the car. There is that camera, but just a little bit, not too much. But everything happens there. So I don't know if me, I wouldn't wait for it to get to net to get to Netflix. I wouldn't go to the movie theater.
Well, that's a perfect movie to make during the pandemic if you're only on one location.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I got the script.
Yeah,
Let's make this
exactly.
one.
Yeah, save this one, and then they have like other actors, but it was like I think it was, I don't know. The voice is there is a, I what's the name of the actor? Let me get the name of the actor. Who does the voice of the woman on the phone is Riley Keegan.
Mm.
Peter Sager also is in the voice. Do the voice. Ethan Hawke also does one of the voices, one of the sergeants there. Adrian Martinez is his co-worker on the
Oh.
dispatch call center. So we have like it's a little bit of a diverse cast,
Mm-hmm.
but most of them are on the phone.
Interesting. Well, I'll check it out when it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I like Antoine Fuqua, and I like
I like
Gyllenhaal.
him
So
too.
we'll see. I guess on a Friday night when I got nothing else to do, I'll watch it.
Yeah, that is coming out in October 1st.
October 1st. All right, I'm gonna put it on my calendar. All right. Well, I have another action movie. I'm gonna talk. Well, actually, it's not. What you were talking about was not action movie, but this one all takes place all outdoors, and it's called The Protege. It's a great cast. It's Maggie Q, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Keaton, and Robert Patrick. It's directed by veteran action filmmaker Martin Campbell, who did Casino Royale and The Legend of Zorro. So Maggie Q is an assassin protege to Samuel L. Jackson's Moody, and he rescued her as a child during one of his missions. And so he trains her to be an assassin. So she grows up and is a badass killer. And so Moody, the last mission she sends her on, turns out to be even more dangerous. He is killed, so of course she goes on a revenge mission to find who killed her mentor. And she encounters another contract killer played by Michael Keaton, who stands in her way. But luckily, he's got a soft spot for Anne, so he lets her slide a few times here and there. I really, really like this movie. Maggie Q is badass. We've seen her be badass in other movies, but here it's practical. So she's fighting. There's like one scene, it only takes one jab and the person's down. So you don't go into these long, lengthy fights like which you often see in these movies. And of course, they like to say that it's from the producers of John Wick. So there's that kind of fight scenes where it's like mano a mano. Michael Keaton is great in it. It's actually one of my favorite roles I've seen him in the last few years. He has, since he plays an assassin, he has his own skills that he gets to use. The action scenes are really good. They're grounded fight choreography. So they're very practical. No quick cuts like Jason Bourne, where you don't really see the fights. Here it's really quick. There's in one shot, so there's no cutaways. And you see them moving from room to room fighting, which I thought was really, really cool. And of course, Maggie, she doesn't pretend to be super badass like we see in recent movies, or we've been bombarded by movies with female leads as the action heroes. We've had Gunpowder Milkshake. I kind of like that one. Cage, which I just saw on Netflix. I like that. It was okay, but it was by the book. It was pretty much paint by numbers kind of a movie.
Kate.
Yeah. On Netflix.
Well.
Yeah. And then Jolt with Kate Beckinsale. That was a horrible movie.
Oh my God. That one, oh my God, it was that
was a horrible movie. That was just, and it was directed by a woman, but it was written by a man, so it's obvious because some of the things are like,
but it was
really? It was a terrible movie. Terrible.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
So if all the action movies starring a female lead, The Protege I think is the best one, just because everything is so grounded. The fights are really grounded. It's like rough and tumble.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. And it's Martin Campbell. He's pretty much has a good, really, really good track record with action movies. So I really like that one. It's on digital now. So go watch it. I really liked it. I'll probably check it out again. So
yeah, that is on my list. I couldn't go to the screening. And this is one of the the few ones that you need to go to the movie theater. They didn't send any links out. So I couldn't, the day that they offered me, I couldn't go. But that is on my list to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
I actually watch it at home. So, but.
Oh, good for you. Yeah,
but I enjoyed it at home.
The link. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still in movie theaters, but I mean, it's already on digital. So, I mean, take a look at it on digital. I don't think it's necessary to see it on the big screen for this one.
Okay.
But because it's not, the action pieces are not huge. It's like this big action movie. They're very grounded. It's like just very hardcore. And it's not martial arts. It's just like really kind of like John Wick fight scenes, kind of that kind of style.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. But there's so much going on right now with all these digital platforms that we have so much to watch, and sometimes we can catch up. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and I think you don't have any other movie. What else have you watched? I actually just watched LulaRich on Amazon. Have you heard of that? It's a docuseries.
Oh yes, I did. I watched it, LulaRich. I didn't know about LulaRoy. LulaRoy. I'll be very honest.
LulaRoy. Yeah, I never heard of him either.
Yeah, but that blew my mind because I thought that it was this pyramid. The multi-level was just for makeup or Tupperwares or Amway or I don't know, Mary Kay. I never thought that they could do that with clothes. You know what I mean?
Well, so, there's suckers everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I watched it, and then I was like, this is crazy. And what like amazed me that the owners, like the ones that create Dion and Mark, they don't think that what they're doing is wrong.
Well, yeah, that's the fun part. The funny part about the docuseries, as these people, the founders, Deanne and Mark Stidham, they paint a pretty picture, like they were doing God's work and they were helping these women, make money. And some of them really did make money. They built it up to $1 billion clothing empire, and they brought in people. I guess they called it consultants, kind of like the Tupperware, that they sell you the products, but you had to invest. You had to do a startup of like $5,000 to $10,000. And most of these women and some men, they charged it to their credit cards. They took loans from family members.
They sold like breast milk. I was like, what?
Yeah, one woman sold breast milk, and with the promise that selling the clothing will earn you lots and lots of money. And like I said, some people did, but then like the clothes were really
but I think like is a pyramid. The ones that are here on the top are the ones that made the money.
Mm-hmm.
The ones here was very difficult. So, but they're still like there, and I watched. I was crazy. I was crazy about it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Apparently, their stockings or their what do you call these things? Not their stockings. Their pants.
The pants, the leggings,
stockings, leggings. There you go. So apparently the leggings were like hot for a while.
Yeah.
But I guess then the quality got cheap and customers weren't happy, and then the refund practices were illegal, and so they started to go out of business, obviously, because people brought lawsuits. And I think the state also brought a lawsuit against them.
Yes.
For improper practices. Like customer and practices. So these are the guys, but yeah, they think they've done nothing wrong. They're painting a pretty picture that they were doing the Lord's work. So that's on Amazon Prime. It's an interesting docuseries.
Like 4 episodes, and
yeah. So check it out. If you like hearing kind of these stories, some of the women describe it as a cult, that they were brainwashed into thinking that they were going to become create their own empires.
Yeah.
By doing this, and it's just funny how people fall for these kind of things. Whenever somebody asks me, when something sounds so good to be true, and then they preface it with, "Oh, you just have to give us $5,000." I'm like, okay, no.
No, but the thing is, I spoke to one of the former. She was one of the former members, Roberta, and I asked her what like back then, what attracted you? You know what I mean? What was about these? What they told you so you can convince? Because for me, it's like, if someone tells me, "Oh my God, you're gonna be rich," it's like, it's not that easy that I'm gonna be rich. It's not like that. And she was like, well, I was a mom with little kids. My dad was recent passed away back then. I wanted to be. I wasn't feeling that beautiful, that great, and that opportunity came along, and then I just go for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you
but
never
people hand
know.
over that much money. Wow, just
Yeah, but you never know. But she's one of the ones that was made a lot of money.
mm,
But then when everything started getting bad, like the quality of the clothes, the leggings, everything bad, and then they is when she let go. Now she
mm.
does just teach people not to
How not to fall for scams.
exactly. Yes, she's famous because of that. Like,
Well, you know, a lot of the work from home sort of job postings that you see, this is what that was.
yeah,
You can work from home because actually I did one time I did click on it just to be like, okay, let me, it's earning like thousands of dollars a month. Like, so I clicked on one, and you had to put up money up front, and I was like, oh yeah,
oh
no,
no,
this is ridiculous. It's like, oh, I got to put up money to make money. I mean, this is the
yeah,
gambling, right?
something's wrong,
That's what you
right?
do. That's what you do in Las Vegas.
Yeah, something's wrong
Yeah.
when you do that.
So,
But I
so it's
think it
interesting.
was really good. Like it's just like 4 episodes.
Yeah,
So
it's just 4 episodes. The first episode was. This is what they're doing in docuseries because I watched another docuseries. The first episode is so boring because they talk a little bit about the origins, but then they have the women talking about why they joined. It's like, no, 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 get to the salacious part. That's why I'm
yeah,
watching this. I want to get to the salacious part. I already know the kind of people that fell for this. It's like vulnerable people
but oh yeah, like
who are desperate for something or for a change. So it's like, because there was another docuseries, it's kind of the same thing where they kind of set up everybody. I mean, you have to meet everybody, obviously, but
yeah,
they talk in length about what their experience was, what their background was. I'm like, okay, boring. Let's talk salaciousness first, and then I mean, because that's why we watch
can you
these
tell
sort
me
of.
the other part, not this one?
Let's talk about when they got busted. That's when I want to see, like when these people get busted. That's the
Yeah,
fun part of the.
yeah, that's
So I would say,
something.
like, maybe the third episode is where it really you start to get more information, like how they all fell,
Yeah, no,
how the
but
empire fell.
and then they still like on business. The business is still going on, and they put the whole family to work for them. Oh my
Well, they
god,
have a big enough family; they don't have to hire anybody.
yeah, it's a huge family. Oh
They
my
have like
god.
50 family members who are like close relatives. It's ridiculous how many people they have. But hey,
Yeah,
it's good for business.
yeah, it's good for them.
You can fight amongst each other.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's fun. I
Yeah,
like it. I really like
yeah,
it. I enjoy watching.
yeah. Especially when you hear these. I've been watching a lot of docuseries, and when these people who are the cult leaders, I'll say, and they're not cult leaders, but the ones at the heads, like they really believe themselves to be some
Yeah,
sort of like messiah, because they see like, oh, we're offering opportunities for people, we're helping them. They really, it's like, wow,
yeah, they're helping them to get
they're helping themselves.
out.
Yeah.
Like
So
no, yeah. Some of them don't have it. Like when I heard like when they're like telling, oh, I had to put on my credit card. I have in some of the training were like that. The incentive, like oh no, you can tell them to put on credit card so they can. I was like, what's wrong with those people? Like the breast milk I was like, what?
well, she might have made more money doing that than
Yeah.
because she sold her breast milk to get the $5,000.
Yeah.
And that's how she entered. And I was like, okay, why don't you just keep the money, invest it somewhere else?
Yeah. And keep selling the breast milk. I don't know.
Or make a business out of that. But anyway,
Yeah, but
yeah. So
maybe
that's that docu
she want
series.
to get the clothes because she thought that the milk one day is gonna it's
Dry
gonna
up,
yeah stop. Yeah, you never know.
obviously.
And then she thought LulaRich was gonna be, oh my god, I'm gonna be the
Well, I mean,
king of the leggings,
it's
the
understanding.
queen of the leggings.
People want to build their own empire, and they hear these other stories, especially their story of how they, build up this empire. So a lot of people think like, well, I want to do that too. So that's understandable, and you hear some of the people talk about that in the first episode, like what
Yeah,
they were after that. Like these people can do what they did, and I can do it too.
yeah.
You just need a little money. So there you go. So
Anyway,
that's
that's
our options for the week.
yeah.
I don't know what you have coming up. You have anything coming up you want to tease?
Coming up that I have. Oof, there is this.
Well, I'm seeing Venom next week. Are you?
No, I'm not.
No.
No, I'm not. No, not very. I'm not.
They have 3 screenings in one day next week. I'm like, damn it, damn you people.
Oh, yeah, there is one. Can we talk about No Time to Die? They invited me for that one.
It's coming up.
And there is something. There is another one the same day, but at night. The oh my God, I forgot the name. The one
the Sopranos movie.
The
Sopranos
Soprano,
prequel.
Yeah. The Soprano family.
I was like, studios, do you not talk to each other? You guys
The
are all
Many
booking
Saints
stuff
of
in the same.
Newark. The Many Saints of Newark, and then No Time to Die.
I wish they would talk to each other, the studios, so they don't schedule things at the same time.
Yeah. No, but No Time to Die is during the day, and this one is at night. It's gonna be the same day, but and Venom, no, nobody invited me for that.
Okay. Yeah, No Time. I can't go to the No Time to Die, so I'm bummed. I have to wait till later, till October, like closer to release date. So, darn it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what
anyway.
else do I have? There was a lot of things. There is a new series on Amazon Prime. I know what you did last summer. There is a new series. There is this series that I already watched, is already playing on Hulu, the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, okay.
The Wu-Tang Saga, American Story, that we can talk about on the next show. And I think that's it. And I cannot wait to watch Dune. I'm still
waiting for my invite.
Yeah, me too.
It seems like all of our colleagues already watched it except us.
Except us, exactly.
Oh, well. But anyway, speaking of the HCA, follow us below, give us a like, recommend us to your friends, and join us next week, or actually in 2 weeks, right? Now we're alternating.
Yeah, alternating.
Now we're alternating with another pair.
So in 2 weeks, we'll be back.
We'll be back. And in the meantime, take care of yourself and binge on.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.
All right. Until next time. And let me get to my video so I can
see us
out.